What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. Just notes that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total. And the offer ends at the end of March, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's talk about the market now. What on earth is going on so far? So, looking at SPY, we've broken this resistance right here, and we want to see a follow-through move for this to continue. I mentioned to everyone, as long as we hold 600, we remain more bullish. If we had lost 600, we would turn back down, especially where that gap was. And so far, SPY is holding above 600 very nicely. Our targets were 602, 605, then all-time highs on SPY. And right now, we are favoring those targets. We're going to continue to push, most likely, so long as 600 holds. So I'm eyeing this imbalance over here at the 605s, and that's going to basically take us close to the all-time highs range. I think we're basically heading up there towards like 605 to 608 at this point. As long as 600 does not break on SPY, we are favoring a push close to all-time highs right now. So SPY is doing a great job at holding up. This is the effect that Trump's inauguration was having on the stock market. As you could see, the majority of stocks are in the green. Not trying to be biased when I say that. That's just simply the truth. That's what's happening so far. And as a result, just like what we talked about yesterday, that's what's happening as well. So for now, we're looking for more buyers to continue to step in. Looking at the QQQ, we're breaking this structure right here. We're breaking resistance. So that tells us that this is continuing to push. We have this left shoulder higher than the right shoulder, and the full measured move takes us up to about the 527 or so zone. So I think that the QQQ could attempt to go higher if we break 525. If we break that, we're going up to about 527. If we were to turn back down and lose 520, then yes, this could be tipping back down to 517. But overall, this looks a bit more bullish. I think that this is favoring upside for the mid to higher 520s. For the Russell 2000 IWM, we're looking for more upside. If we were to end up losing the support at 228, there's going to be a risk of 226.25. As long as we continue to push, we're looking for 230 as our target, which I want to see this break to get back up towards 231.5 and eventually 233. So there's an imbalance up here around 231.5-ish, very close to that zone, which could be attracting this higher if we break 230. So far, the Russell looks more bullish. For ES, we look more bullish. If we were to hypothetically lose 6,050 and 6,030, we will turn back down below 6,000 most likely. And as long as we're above 6,050, we're favoring a push for essentially 6,100, and eventually this imbalance will for 6,133, very close to all-time highs. So ES looks bullish. It looks like it's trying to go for that 6,100 plus target. I think there's a good chance we try to continue to go. And overall, we're still looking more bullish. For NQ, we look a bit more bullish. Same setup as the QQQ. There's a left shoulder, a head, and then a right shoulder right over here. If we were to lose 21,555, we would be dipping back down towards the supports here and right below the lower 21,400s. But we haven't done that. We haven't done that yet. We're still holding up quite well. So this is still favoring an inverse head and shoulder setup and an attempt to get back up towards 22,000 plus. So I think there's a very, very good chance we try to push for 22,000 or get very close to that. We're still looking more bullish on NQ. So long as we don't lose support, we're still looking quite good. For Bitcoin, we're looking quite decent so far. We're trying to break out right here. As long as we don't lose 105,000, we're favoring a push for 108,000. So we're doing good, at least so far, looking bullish. Nvidia, as long as we don't lose 137, we're favoring a bigger push. We're now above 140, which is a very good sign, and our next target is going to be closer to 144 plus. So I think Nvidia could try to push even higher and get close to 144. Tesla dumped quite a bit after some news came out involving the EV mandate shifting, but what's good is we're holding this blue trend line. See the blue line here? This has been holding Tesla up since October. So we're holding support. We also held our 4-hour 50 EMA. If Tesla were to hypothetically lose 413 to 410 in that range and close below that, I will become a lot more concerned. There's going to be a risk of more downside. But as long as we're above that trend line, as long as we're bouncing off it, we favor a bounce on Tesla. So that's a good sign for Tesla. We're not losing the trend line so far. We're actually holding it. So that was my warning for everyone in my morning video. Because we're holding this, we're now favoring a push back up towards very close to 425 or above. So there's a good chance we try to bounce on Tesla tomorrow as long as we don't lose that support. Apple needs to base at 220 to bounce. If we end up losing that, there's going to be a risk of more downside. As long as 220 holds us, we could try to bounce back up for 225. It had a lot of bad news, and as long as there's no new bad news, it could continue. Coin is looking quite promising. We're looking at this resistance right over here around this 300 area. If we break that, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to 308. And if we can't break that, we're looking for support right here at 288 and eventually back down to 281. So I think this could favor upside if we break resistance. So we'll see if that ends up being the case or not. For Amazon, we have a nice double bottom like structure. This could also be favoring a push back up for 232. So we'll see if that ends up being the case or not. For Meta also has a nice inverse head and shoulders like pattern. If we were to lose 611, we're looking for an attempt to dip lower all the way back down towards 605. But as long as we're above that, we favor a push into 625 eventually. Despite the chop that's coming, there is still potential upside for it. Microsoft is showing a little bit of weakness. There's going to be a risk of 425 if 428 breaks. It's very much just like stuck right now. But the setup does look a little bit weaker, so it might dip a bit before it tries to bounce. There is that inverse head and shoulders, but it looks like it's going to dip first before we see some kind of positive move. Google pumped, grabbed liquidity right here, which typically signals some down. So that could be coming back down to like 199 or so. So there might be a small dip on Google, and we'll see if we bounce off that or not. So just keep those levels in mind. Anyways, the VIX is dumping as we predicted to fill some of these gaps. We have this gap down here. Is actually another gap here and here. And for now, it looks bearish, which is a bullish signal for the markets. As of right now, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ are all looking more bullish, and they have a lot more upside potential. I think Tesla just got a big drop like right now. We'll have to see if we could hold support. We're still fine, guys. Tesla's still completely fine. As long as it does not lose that support I called out, we're still going to be fine. So let's see if we hold up on Tesla. It's a little concerning with that big drop that came, but we're watching to see if support holds nonetheless. Despite that, like I said before, the broader markets are still looking quite strong. SPY is looking strong, so is the QQQ. So we'll see how well we break through resistance. With that being said, I thank you for listening. Have a good rest of your day, guys. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours with another update, and peace out.